Hello, thank you, and welcome to anyone watching my second YouTube video. Like the first one, it might be a little shaky. I'm still trying to figure all of this out, but thanks for being here. I will be going over a tiered ranking of my 2026 draft eligible forwards for the NHL draft. Let's get into it. In my first tier, we have the two guys that everybody should have in their first tier. Number one is Gavin McKenna. He is a Canadian winger, played at Penn State this year. His strengths are his playmaking and creativity. He's incredibly skilled with the puck. He sees the ice very well. His cons, he has the cons you'd expect from a playmaking winger, right? He's not great off puck. He's not really invested in the defensive zone, but you're kind of expecting a 100-point player here, so who cares? Next, we have Ivar Stenberg, same size as Gavin McKenna. He is Swedish. He's a winger. His strengths are his playmaking and his all-around game. His cons are, then this might be a little bit of a hot take, his upside. A lot of people say, you're looking at a point per game guy, maybe 90 points. I have serious doubts. I'm not completely convinced that, he could be Senator's Giroux, right? Just a good two-way, 50, 60-point winger, which would be a great player, a great contributor to a successful team. But I have my worries about the upside here. Still, great player, second best forward in the draft, second best player in the draft, in my opinion, and there's a very high floor. My next tier, we have our top two centers. Starting off, we have Viggo Bjork. He is a Swedish center, could be a winger at the next level. I have him listed as a forward here because I'm not sure. But his strengths are his brain and his want, right? He's very smart, and he wants it like no one else in the draft. His cons are his size. He's 5'9". I wouldn't be too worried because of how he plays and how smart he is. He reminds me a lot of Seth Jarvis. I like that comparison, and I think he's the best center in the draft. Next, we have Caleb Malhotra, a good-sized center out of the OHL this year. His strengths are his two-way game. He doesn't do anything incredibly well. I don't think he has an elite skill, but once you take into account everything that he does, you have a very good prospect here. His cons, similar to Stenberg, I think is his upside. But with what he brings on both sides as a center, this is a very good prospect. I would say he's I'd have him a little bit lower than Denoyer from last year. Next, we have Tier 3. This is a big tier. I think my biggest tier. I'm not sure, though. First up, a guy I'm real high on, Elton Hermansson, a Swedish winger. Good size. His strengths are his hands. He has great hands. His shot. He has a great shot, and he's very good at finding ways to use it. He's good at he finds good ice, and he's creative with the puck. He likes to dangle a little bit, and he'll be a very reliable, productive player on a power play at the next level. His cons, I don't see any, because he's not he's not Mark Stone or Mitch Marner defensively, but for a skilled offensive winger, he can contribute defensively. He's intelligent. He'll get in the way. I love this player. I'm not doing one after another rankings, but if I did, he'd be in my top 10. I think I finished the year with him at 9. Next, we have Tynan Lawrence. He is a Canadian center that played at Muskegon in the USHL this year and finished the year at Boston University. He is a little undersized at 6 foot, but he's filled out pretty nice. His strengths would be his speed. He's very fast. And his want, similar to Bjork, he likes to stick his nose in there. He likes to work hard. His cons is his playmaking. I don't think he doesn't see the ice too well. I think it was U18s. He had a highlight go around where he made a crazy pass to the back door to score. And I think it would have been their last game. That was a great highlight. I think it might have been a little bit of luck. He might have just been throwing the puck on net. But so I don't believe much in his playmaking, but he's got the speed. He's got the attitude or the play style that gives him a pretty good floor as a middle six center, and he's got a great shot. He could, even if you say he's a third line center in the NHL, I think he's got a good enough shot to play in the bumper on a power play. Earlier in the year, I thought he was a little bit maybe Sebastian Aho-y, a little bit Mika Zibanejad. Obviously, he fell off a little bit, and he's in my 3rd tier, but still maybe a lighter version of those players. Next, we have Wyatt Cullen, from a winger from the USNTDP. His strengths are he's very good, very creative with the puck. He likes to dangle. He plays out there like he's playing World of Chell. He's also grown like half a foot in the last 2 years. So that grabs your attention because he could get bigger too. He's 6'1" now. He could get all the way up to 6'3". But he's become very popular to a lot of people. I am a bit worried. I have his con as his translatability. I'm not sure if everything he's good at now will be stuff that will contribute at the next level. He's playing a little bit of pond hockey, and that doesn't work in the NHL. I'm also... He's a little bit of a hero puck guy. Again, that could always be ironed out, but this is a guy I'm looking at that I might have a little bit of an asterisk by. Like, he could be a bust. Next, we have Oliver Suvanto, a big Finnish center. His strengths are his size, his strength, and his defensive game. His cons are his upside. At the beginning of the year, I thought he could maybe be a Joel Eriksson-Ek type guy. He is good around the net, but the offense isn't there. It's just not. I don't think it's going to come, but I think he'll be a really good matchup center, and his size and his brain will definitely lead to some points. But you're not. I don't think you're going to look to this guy for offense, but you will get a contributing player out of him. Maybe Jason Dickinson type guy. Another Finnish forward, this time a winger, who is huge, Oscar Hemming. He played this year at Boston College after having a very hard time finding somewhere to play. He kind of got screwed over a little bit by his Finnish team, but I'm glad we got to see him play, and it's resulted in him being all the way up here as a projected lottery pick. His strengths are his size, his physicality, and his shot. He has a great shot. He's a very hard hitter. He hunts them down. I think that gives him a pretty good floor. Like, say the offense doesn't translate, he can play on a fourth line, like just go out there and bang around a little bit. His cons, I don't have any, because I think he'll be a player, and I think his skating is good enough for his size that won't be what holds him back. Next, we have Adam Novotny. Adam Novotny is a Czech winger who played for Peterborough this year in the OHL. His strengths are his physicality, his skating, and his shot. He has a 30-goal shot, and he loves to shoot. He's very fast, and he likes to get in the mix, play in the dirty areas, and that gives him a floor. He's good defensively. So I think at worst you're looking at a bottom six winger, a penalty killer. His cons, he doesn't have much high-end skill. He's not a very good playmaker. But where he'll be playing, he'll be in a middle six. You don't need the high-end playmaking. I haven't seen the comparison yet, but I like Jake DeBrusk as a comp for him. I think they could find a similar role. Next, we have Nikita Klepov. He is a 6-foot winger that is unofficial. He was not at the scouting combine in Buffalo, but he will be at the Gold Star Combine, which will be somewhat soon. It might be today, I'm not sure. But he is a very skilled winger who played in the OHL for Saginaw this year. I think he either led the OHL in points or he was second. He definitely led draft eligibles in points in the OHL. His strengths are he is incredibly skilled. He sees the ice very well. He's very good at manipulating defenders. His cons, I don't know if it'll translate to the next level, right? He could just be a very good junior player, but I like to believe in this guy. I like him more than Cullen. Yeah, very good player. That size, when his real size comes through, that could affect things. It says he's 6 foot. He could be 5'10". And the Russian thing is nothing to worry about. Not that it ever actually is, but he's already in North America playing in the OHL. Next, we have Ethan Belchitz. He is a Canadian winger. He's enormous. He's 6'5", 230. His strengths are his size. His cons are how his game will translate to the next level. His offense specifically. He plays you see this the frame, and you want the guy to be a little meaner and a little more physical. He plays a little bit of a skill game, and I don't know if that'll work. I don't. Some people compare him to Porter Martone. I don't see that. I think Porter Martone's a lot better everywhere, and I think he was in his draft year too. And he's meaner. Belchitz is a little inconsistent when it comes to that, but still, the size, the size will have him in the NHL. He'll be a player for that reason alone. Next, my fourth tier. This is a small tier of centers that will go probably in the top 20. First, we have Ilya Morozov. I go back and forth a lot. Sometimes I like him more than Suvanto, but I think Suvanto is more of a sure shot. But Morozov might have a higher ceiling. His strengths are his size and his defense. I don't think he has any cons. I don't see a problem with the skating. I think he'll, at worst, he could play like what Mark Jankowski does for Carolina. Or maybe not Michael McCarron. Michael McCarron's a little more physical, but maybe that same role as a fourth line center. But at his ceiling, I think he has a better shot at turning into Joel Eriksson Ek than Suvanto does. I think there's real skill here. There's real skill with the puck. He's much better at carrying the puck than Suvanto is, or that people, I think, give him credit for. He's got good hands. He had a very good year in the NCAA. And again, the Russian thing, nothing to worry about. He's already in North America in the great state of Ohio. This guy could go a lot earlier than people think. I wouldn't be surprised to see him taken off the board before like Hemming or Belchitz. Next, we have Alexander Command. I'm glad to see him start to rise up boards because I've had him high all year. I think he's a very translatable guy. His strengths are he's hardworking. He'll stick his nose in there. He can be physical. He's very intelligent. And that intelligence will, when you think of him, when people talk about him, they talk about his defensive game. But that intelligence works on both sides of the ice. I think he can play higher in a lineup. I think of him as, I like Alexander Wenberg as a comp. And Alexander Wenberg, I think he had 50 points this year. I think he's had better years in the past. I think he was very good in one of the shortened seasons in Columbus. But I like this guy. I think there's a floor and a ceiling here. A high floor and a high ceiling. I'd say he's a middle six center. And I'm looking at him to go, he could be a lottery pick. I think he'll be gone by 20. Next, we have Tier 5. These guys are all in the 20s for me, and there is a couple hot takes in here. First, we have Adam Valentini. I really like Valentini. He's not very big. He doesn't have the best feet, but he's a hard-working guy. His strengths are he's feisty and he wants it bad. I think he'll get under people's skin. He's a little bit of an agitator. He agitated the entire OHL this year when he decided not to go to Kitchener and went to Michigan, where, by the way, he had 27 points in 40 games. He was one of the most productive draft eligibles in the entire NCAA. I think he could turn into a Ryan Hartman type player, and Ryan Hartman has a 60-point season. And then I think at worst he could be, a Nick Cousins. I know nobody likes to hear that because nobody likes Nick Cousins, but I think Valentini can fill that role. And I think he has, like Ryan Hartman, upside. A 2020 guy. He's small, but he'll get into the some good areas, and mess with the goalie, jam a couple pucks in the net. Next, another guy I'm way higher on than most is Lars Steiner. His strengths, I have his want. He wants it bad. He works real hard. He loves to mix it up. And his shot, he has a great shot. He scores a lot of goals. He's good at finding spots to score goals. His cons, his size, he's not very big. He's 5'10", 176, but that's unofficial. He wasn't at the combine. But I don't care. I think there's a floor here as, a fourth liner in the NHL. I think he's smart enough. He wants it bad enough. He's going to do the dirty work. And I think there's upside too. I like him. I have him in my first round, which is pretty uncommon. I'm hoping he drops somewhere. I'm hoping he drops somewhere where my team can pick him in the second or third round. Next, we have Nicholas Arum Olsen. He is a Norwegian winger who played maybe in the J20 this year. J20 Hockey Allsvenskan. He played in Sweden. His strengths are his shot. He's got a good shot, and he's very physical. And that combined with everything else, I think gives him a floor. He can play on a fourth line somewhere. His cons, I don't think he has any. We'll get a good idea of him where he really stands next year. I think he's going to BU, and I'm expecting a pretty big year from him. I think he'll be real good. I think he'll probably drop to the second round, and some team's going to be very happy with the prospect they get. I think you could see maybe a similar trajectory. Like, I don't think they're the same player, but maybe a similar trajectory to like Eddie Gemborg last year. Next, we have Ryan Rubrick. He is a 6'3" forward from the OHL who played in Niagara this year. This guy is a how would I say it? Tumultuous, maybe, prospect. There's a lot of different opinions out there. Most of them trend badly. His strengths are he's got a great shot. He's very big. His cons are his want, right? We've seen want as a couple of strengths for guys. Want is a con for him. He can be a little lackadaisical. He can be a little unengaged. But I think there's, a model here for a very good player. I think at his ceiling is like a Jason Robertson. As crazy as that might sound. He was a top 5 pick to start the year, and then his production went down in the OHL, and people got scared from that and the character concerns. But specifically when it regards the production, I want people to consider the fact that the OHL scoring was down a lot this year. A lot of guys' numbers went down. Um, he scored goals at a higher rate than Ethan Belchet's did. He had the same amount of points last year as Caleb Malhotra. He had more points last year than Caleb Malhotra did this year. And Caleb Malhotra is a top 10 pick, a top 5 pick. Obviously, there are different things there. But this is, someone should take a chance on this guy. This year scares you, but the track record before that, and then all the physical traits in the shot here, there's such a high ceiling that I think you have to take a chance on him in the first round. Obviously, you might not want people to take a chance on him too high, but don't be shocked if Carolina has a first round pick. Don't be shocked if he goes there and then turns into Jason Robertson. Next, we have a guy that I think is worse than Ryan Rubrick, Maddox Dagenet. He is a big forward out of the Q. He played for the Quebec Remparts this year. His strengths are his size and his shot. And he's got a little bit of bite. He's a little bit of an agitator and an agitatee. His cons are he's a little inconsistent. I don't always see it with him, but when you do, there's something to get excited about. He's got a great shot. He can be physical. If he can get consistent, there's a floor there. Combined with his size, at worst he'd be a third liner. At best, it's a top line winger, but he is inconsistent, and I'd be worried a little bit, but he'll go much higher than this. I bet teams start thinking about him in the lottery, the late lottery. Up next, we have our last tier. These guys are mostly out of my first round. Starting off with Thomas Vandenberg. He is a 6-foot center out of the OHL. He played for Ottawa, I believe. He played for the Ottawa 67th. His strengths are he's a very good skater. He's very smart. He doesn't have any cons. Like I said in my defenseman video, once you get to a certain point in the draft, the con for all these prospects is going to be upside. But you don't care if you're picking 30th about how low someone's upside is. I have a comp for him that I really like, and it's Isaac Lundestrom. Most people would probably know him from the Ducks. Isaac Lundestrom is a very responsible fourth-line center who skates very well, who shows flashes of very good offense, but tends to focus more on his defensive game. I think Vandenberg will find a role like that in the NHL, and I think he'll be good at it. So I'm saying you got a surefire bottom 6 center. Next, we have Gleb Pugachev, big 6'3", 200 pounds. That's unofficial. And I'm not sure if he's going to be at the Gold Star Combine for Russian players. But I don't doubt his size. He looks very big on the ice. His strengths are his size and physicality. He likes to throw the body, and his frame allows him to do it very successfully. His cons, he's not a great skater. This is one. I hate to be like that, but I might be a little scared of the whole Russian thing. This is a guy I could see never making it over. But this guy I could also see turning into a much better player than the position he's drafted. Just working hard to get to scoring areas and banging in pucks around the net. Another Russian, this time a center who played in the Q this year, Yegor Shilov. He's got pretty good size. Again, that's unofficial, but he will be at the Gold Star Combine. This guy's very similar to Rubric in a couple ways. His strengths are his hands. He's got great hands, and he's very creative. His cons, the want, same as Rubric. He's very unengaged sometimes. His effort levels are inconsistent. But he will be going either next year or the year after. He's going to Penn State. And I'd like to think that his game will get turned into a little more pro style game there. Especially because offensively he has all the skills you'd want in a center. So you'd want to be able to play him there. He's a guy I would look at real hard for Carolina. Carolina picks guys like this. They picked Ryabkin last year. They like to swing on upside. And I think anybody who really wants to swing on upside will be looking at him. He could go like right around 20. Or he could drop like Ryabkin did last year. Although I don't think he has the character concerns that Ryabkin did. But Ryabkin dropped almost into the third round last year. Like Shilov there's a wide range of where he could go. Next, we have J.P. Hurlburt. He's an American winger who played in the WHL this year for Kamloops. His strengths are his shot. He's got a great shot. His cons are his skating. He has that fatal flaw that could keep him out of the rankings. If he was a better skater, he might be a lottery pick because he is intelligent and he's got that shot. I could see highest upside. I could see him being like a Brock Besser type guy. But again, the skating could keep him out of the league entirely. Next, we have Thomas Tranko, a Slovakian winger, 5'11", 170. That's unofficial. He was not at the combine, to my knowledge. His strengths are his shot. He's got a great shot, similar to Hurlburt, and he showed it off on a big stage this year. He played very well at the World Juniors for that team that really exceeded expectations. His cons are his size. He's very small and could be smaller, but that'll lead to him dropping. After his World Juniors, there was some first round buzz around him. I think he's going in the back half of the second round or even third round. But still, the shot is an elite skill. And you're ecstatic to get that in the position he'll get drafted. Next, we have Jack Hextall. He played for Youngstown this year in the USHL. His strengths are his playmaking. I think he's very good with the puck. And his complete game, he'll be able to fill a role as a bottom six center. He has that brain and he has those intangibles. His cons, not a great skater. He has slow boots, but I think his brain makes up for it. And if he's in a bottom 6 role, he's not really going to be relied on that much, and the skating won't be an issue. And then we have our honorable mentions. Starting on the bottom left, we have Liam Lefebvre. He's a re-entry this year from the Q. I believe he played high school hockey last year. That's why he didn't get drafted. But he's a very impressive prospect. Big, skilled, nasty, will fight. Then middle bottom row, we have Zach Olson from Saskatoon. He is a good two-way player, two-way centerman, good skater, and a good shot. Bottom right, we have Oliver Murniaks. He is a Latvian center who played in the Q this year for St. John's. He struggled with some injuries, and his production wasn't great, but I think there's a floor there because he plays a good two-way game. At worst, he's not at worst. At worst, he never plays. But I think he could be, a fourth-line center, maybe a fourth-line winger, or he could be your first call-up from the AHL. I know I keep bringing up Columbus players, but that's my team. I think he could maybe end up like Brendan Gaunce, the way Brendan Gaunce gets used. Then right above him, we have Liam Ruck, my preferred Ruck twin. Liam, to me, has a more projectable game. He'll get in the dirty areas. He'll score those goals. But the skating's bad. He's undersized. Still, you could get a player there. I think maybe Jake Gensel is a guy he plays similarly to. But again, it's a long shot that he ever reaches that. Still, I think the name recognition will have him go in the first round. And a lot of people do have him there. I could be wrong. I'm lower on him. And then last one in the top right there is Mathis Preston. An incredibly skilled winger, but he is undersized. And he did not produce in the WHL this year, and that scares me. Where I said the OHL scoring is down, the WHL is a much easier league to score in. And when we're talking about an undersized winger, point per game or whatever he's at is not going to cut it. Still a good prospect. These are all great players. I'd expect them all to go in the top 2 rounds. But that's it. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I hope this video was a little better than my first. I'd like to improve every time, and my next one, I will be recording a mock draft that I think will either come out the day of the draft or the day before. I kind of want to put it off because the NHL is going crazy right now with trades, and I want to get the right order. But thanks for watching. Again, all your input, anything you have, is welcomed, whether it's my presentation or you think my rankings suck. Thanks for watching.